right, guys. I am. Let me see. I should probably turn on my AC, so I could get some air. It's warm. It's super warm today, and I love it. But just so, yeah, girl, I do have one of those manual ones. Yeah, I don't do. It is what it is. So yeah, so I'm gonna tell you guys about the part three for like my trip to Ghana. Okay, so I think I told you guys, like, yeah, so I chose that my business was going to be shea butter. And then so yeah, so this is how I got it done. So first, like I said, I bought the ticket, and then I got my visa, send in the passport, and then they send in my visa. I did have little issues at first with the form, but I have a friend who who's Ghanaian, and then so he helped me through and gave me some. And I would say, it's just the way the form was built, it was just funny. And I remember at the end of the day, I got it done to the New York Embassy. Now I'm thinking about it, and the reason I got it done through the New York Embassy was because I live in Boston, and if there was an issue, I didn't want to do it in DC, or so I got it done in New York. So after doing that, I was like, you know what, so I remember, I think I said, like, I had a friend who used to go to Ghana. I had a friend of a friend who used to go to Ghana, and every time they would go to, the friend would come from Ghana, they would be like, hey, I have shea butter. So I had that connection. So I asked the friend, and we were part of all the same circles, so it's not like I didn't know her. So I asked that person, and they connected me with their person in Ghana. And then so through WhatsApp, we came up with a price, how much you're gonna pay, how much do I need, and how much is that going to be. And then of course with Google, I did research, and I understood how much it's CD, the Ghanaian thing is CD. And then so I saw how much CD that was going to be. So before I head to Ghana, I had, I already had in contract how much shea butter I was going to buy, how much I was going to pay, all that. And so that was set. The other thing, so I started doing was, okay, so I was like, okay, so what I was gonna do. So at first I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to Ghana. But I had to sit down and be like, okay, so you're going to Ghana, what are you going to do? What are you going to accomplish? So one of the things I wanted to accomplish was I wanted to get I wanted to create content while I was over there. I wanted to create the label for the shea butter. I wanted to all these things. At first I didn't think about it, but my sister's always traveling, and I remember she was going to Paris. She was launching her clothing line, and she did the same thing. And I think that's when it actually did come, and sometimes, like, it doesn't have to be you, but you could get it, you could get inspired through your family, or just even a video you watch. So I got that idea, like, hey, you know what, while I'm over there, I should get some content. So that same person who hooked me up with the shea butter also I did ask around, and I asked multiple people about like photographers in Ghana. So first, I also have to say, by watching so many YouTube videos about how to do business with people in Ghana, I was able to, get pointers like, this is how you do it. And you could say, what do you mean by that? So first, they just like, a prepping, like, because one of the videos they were saying like Ghanaians like to say yes to everything, even if they didn't know how to do it, they'll just say yes. So what I did is, of course, like, I talked to people I knew. Again, the friend who was the friends who were helping me, I asked them if they knew photographers, and I got to look at their work. If the person couldn't give me like a social media link or anything like that, I wasn't interested. That's one. Second, from the videos I've watched on the culture and how to move around as a diasporan, it was just like, because the American money is stronger, sometimes people can overprice you. So it doesn't mean, because like if you calculate it's like still a little bit of money, it doesn't mean that you should not you shouldn't care. But anyways, long story short, I compared prices. I talked to people again through WhatsApp. I talked to people via Instagram, and I did come up with a photographer who it also was recommended by a friend, and I seen his work, and right off the back he was able to talk to me, engage, and he sounds like very genuine. So that's how I chose my photographer. And I also decided like which hotels I was going to stay at, and things like that, so I could do the photo shoot. So that was like the first part, and I'll get into it more in part 4. All right, see you guys.